Yep. Good evening, everyone. So last session, I showed you how to set up the React environment in an application, how to link the files using CDN and using React in an existing application. By using CDN links, I showed you, right? You tried, right? By using the CDN links, I showed you how to link the React and a basic small example of rendering output. So we used React DOM.render creating root. I showed you two versions also. In old version, how do we do that? In new version, how do we do this, right? So React 18 and higher versions now, which we are currently running, have a lot of changes when compared to previous version. The previous version of React is 17 and so many changes are there from 17 to 18. So those all changes you need to learn because you are learning 18, but you may have to work in 17 in some companies. So that is the reason you should know the difference. So yesterday, one basic difference you saw. We have to create virtual DOM and render into virtual DOM. Now, without CDN links, today we will see other techniques how to create React application. Actually, so create a new React, create here, create instead of say already there. Here use React in existing application. So use React in existing application with the library offline. So you can say with offline library, offline library. That is what we need to do. Because CDN is online library. You need to connect with internet every time when you need to test it. But now you can download the library and you can use it, right? So let's see yesterday's project, what we done. Now this is our React web application. In this React web application, we just added React in a page. For that, what all basic concepts come, I will explain them. You need to link 3 script files, one for React, another for React DOM, another one is Babel. And script type must be Babel. You need to create a virtual DOM by using create root. Then into that you can render any content we can render into it. That is the technique we learned. But these 3 libraries will work only when you are connected to internet every time. If I am offline and I want to test this project, it will not work because these libraries are coming from their server. So what we can do is, instead of doing this, you can download them and use them. You can download and use them. How do we download actually? So first point, so download and install React and Babel library for your project. You have to do this. How to download and install React and Babel library for project? You have to open the terminal. In the terminal, npm install React. This is another one. You have to install npm install React DOM. This is second one. And another one, you need to install npm install babel / stand alone. These all the libraries you need. Save is a flag. Without that also you can do, but sometimes when you don't use save flag and any another dependent library you install, it will reset the previous library. That means reinstall the previous library. Due to that, some of your previous programs may affect. That's the reason always use save as a flag, right? So this is nothing but you are downloading all the library so that you don't need any CDN anymore. Without CDN, you can download all the library required for React. So let's do this. And how to install, you know already. Here we are opening the terminal. In the terminal, you have to just run npm install react and save. So that is the React library we are downloading. It will get the React library here. Okay. Now you need another npm install react dom, react-dom and save. So this is React virtual DOM library. This is also done. Okay, next another npm install so babel / stand alone and save. -save anything fine, right? Actually you can run all in one line. npm provides that. Just for your clarity sake I am giving. Generally what developers do is, so I will show you. First, this is done. This is also installed. Babel have a lot of libraries, but you need standalone library. Now actually developers can do like this: npm install react dom babel space. You have to just use space / standalone and save all together. And there is no order. That means don't think that first you have to install React, after that React DOM. Order is not in installation, order is in linking the file, right? You can install anything first, second. You have to make sure that all three are installed, right? Developers can install all in one's attempt. Just they need to just give space. That's it, right? So this is ready. Now all the libraries available. Now how to use that library in this project? Let's see. I will show you completely new file again, so that you see I am going to not index now. I will go to public folder, and I hope you already know whatever library is installed through npm, it will be kept in a separate folder called node modules. Automatically one folder is created by name node modules. Any project which is using the package manager npm and installing library related all files are kept here. Whatever the files downloaded, all those downloaded files are present in a folder called node modules. Remember, library data are the folders that we created manually, but node modules is the folder which is generated automatically. After you installed these files, automatically it will give you that folder, right? In this, all the library is present. Now I will go to public and I will add a new file, and I give home.html. In this home HTML, I want to use React. Then let's design a basic React page, HTML page. I will give as home. Here I will create a container div. Div have an ID. ID is what? Container or root or anything, whatever you want. I told you people have an habit of giving as root, right? You can give any name, doesn't matter. Now here we have to link the scripts, 3 scripts. Actually, you observe carefully here in the node modules folder. Let's expand that node modules. You see all the libraries inside this node modules now. In the node modules folder, you can observe, scroll down. In the node modules, you will see React is there. You can see React and React DOM are there. In React, you will interestingly find CJS UMD. What are those? CJS and UMD, what are those? CJS and UMD are module systems. We learned module systems. I told you that every project JavaScript based means libraries in modules. And there are so many module systems, UMD, AMD, right? And it is having CJS and UMD. By default, our browsers and our Node.js NPM packages, they will support UMD. If you link a separate module, any another module other than UMD, it is not going to work. So you need to link. Actually, in CJS also, there is a file, 2 files they will give. React development, React production. Which file we need? Development file we need. So production files while publishing, right? So you, but in the same UMD also same. In UMD also React development, React production. Why 2 files are there? Because people who are using React in their project, they may be using different module systems. Now, React will not ask to change their module system. React should support their module system. They will say that we don't change our module system. React should be according to their module system. If their project is already using CJS, common JS module system, then we have to link CJS React files. If their project is using UMD module system, then UMD. That is important. And UMD is universal. It is available everywhere. So we need to link the files now. And you know the path here now. Let's see. Let's go to the index, the home page script. What is the first file? There is order also for files. Script source // or say // because we are currently in public folder. From public we need to come out. Their node modules is available. In node modules React, and in React we have UMD because our internal module system of Node.js is using UMD. And here I am using React development.js. That is the file we need to link. That is the file we have to link. Now one more file you need, script. What is it? src. It is node modules, React DOM. In React DOM, UMD. In UMD, which one? React DOM development. DOM development is there. It is DOM development.js. That is the file. React DOM.development.js. This is the file. Okay, one more you need. What is script? script source is equal to node modules at the net Babel. In that Babel standalone, in standalone babel.js. That is the file. These are the three files you need to set up in your project. Now, once you've done this, I will go into the script now. In the script, as per the latest, if you are using old version, first script type must be text/babel. That is the script type must be. Now, if you are continuing with your old version technique, directly react dom.render. There is a method react dom.render. In the new version, we have to create a root. So constant root is equal to react dom dot create root. Remember, these are reserved terms. You need to be careful in capitalization and everything. If you miss a simple capitalization, it will not work. React dom is uppercase, and create root. And here, which one you want to use as root? This div I want to use as root. So what is the div reference? Reference ID is root. So how to access? Document dot get element by ID. What is it? Root. That is the root element. Now into that root, we need to render some message. So root dot render. What to render? Suppose I am giving welcome to React home. Like this I am giving. That is the message we are displaying. Now let's run this and see. I will right click and open with the live server. Remember, you cannot run like file system. File system means open that folder in your computer, double click on home.html and open that file and see the output. That can't happen. You have to run through server only. So open with live server. Now you can see it is going to display the output here. That is welcome to React home. So it is going to display the output and show the output here. This message we are displaying through React. We are displaying through React, right? So that is generally how we need to define. So this is, remember now what I am doing here. So in this, I will change that instead of UMD, we will try another, what is it? CJS. In that React development. Okay, here also I will go CJS. In that React DOM development, you need these two files. Why you need? Already I explained. Right, now I will run this here. It's not working. And you go to inspect, and in the console, you can check the console for errors. It will show that it is unable to process and it is unable to use this React DOM, because the concept is nothing but your module system is different. So make sure that you are using the module system UMD when you are linking UMD, because already you set up your environment with Node.js, and Node.js uses UMD system. In any case, in your company, some other module system is being used. You can see that configuration in a file called package.json. In package.json, you can see what is the module system there. According to that, you need to link. Another module system uses UMD. CJS is for only CJS, UMD for all others. That means there are so many module systems. CJS is only for CJS and all others can use UMD. So you better always prefer that UMD. So what you do here, you need to change this from CJS to UMD in that React development. And here also we can use UMD, and that is React DOM development. That is the file. Now it is working fine. Working fine. So that is basically how we need to configure, right? Right. So this is how to set up and how do we configure. Now, when you install these React DOM and all, so all library files are copied into which folder? Node underscore modules. All are copied into node modules. Now what you have to do, link the files in your, link the files to your HTML page. And what are the files you need to link? Actually, you need to link React dot development dot JS, another React DOM dot development dot JS, and React babel dot JS. These are the files, right? And their location I will give you in the notes, right? So I will copy this file. This is another file we created, home.htm. This is the file. Now, what is difference between yesterday and today is, now today what you done is offline library. That means now you don't need any internet connection every time to test your programs. So because you have library offline, we can directly use. Now in any page, if you want, you can link. Any page you want to use, you can link and you can define, right? This is one important. Now here I will show you another concept. The concept is, so two techniques you learned: how to create a React application with general CDN. Another one is by using offline library. Now here, while presenting, small technique I will show you. Later we will learn detail. Actually, while presenting, suppose I want to display this welcome to React Home in bold. I want to display in bold. I want to display in center. I want to format my appearance. You can't do. Directly when you are rendering any content, it is not possible, because actually here see, means how it is done, I will show you. Suppose you are rendering into this div, and when you are rendering into this div, this is the message you are rendering, welcome to React Home. I will keep this message in bold B, right? I will keep that in B, bold. And when I run this, you can see it prints that bold. That means you cannot present your content in a formatted way. Here you are just learning how to present an ordinary, how to render an ordinary string. You cannot present any formatted way. If you want any formatted way, then actually what we do is, we cannot do like this. First, we have to create a component. We have to create a component, and this component we have to render into the div. Actually here there is a div with ID as root. Now into the div, what you are doing you are directly rendering some message. So in this message, you cannot put any formats. But if you can create a component, there you can put the formats and you can render that component in that div. That is the right way. As of now, it's okay. You are displaying a message. But actually, entire React website is built by using components. For example, let's open, suppose Instagram. Instagram is built with React. It is built with React. Now in this React, actually here, this is a component. That is a component. Actually, it is a type of which component? Carousel. But carousel here, it is not sliding, it is fading. It is fading banners. That is a carousel fading. That is a carousel component. And actually, this is another component. And you can say this is a login component. It is a login component. So similarly, there is a sign up component. Similarly, at the bottom, you can see at the bottom, there is a footer component. This is actually footer component. That means complete React application is built with components. Individually, we don't design. Everything we design as a component and render. Individually, we don't design. That means you see, not only Instagram, suppose Amazon is designed with React. It is a complete React project. It is entire front end is built with React. Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, all these are React projects, React applications, right? So you can see here, here, this is a header component. That is a header component. This is a carousel component. Sliding banners are there, carousel component. I hope you know the name of these boxes. What are those? Cards components. Everything is component based. Now, if anybody asks, okay, design a login screen and show me in React, then you will not render login screen. First, you design a login component. Then you have to render that login component into the root, into the virtual DOM. How? I will show you that. See, that means now if anybody asks like design a login screen, that means how do we design a login screen? So it is not possible like this now, because it can render only a message or it can render only a component. This is very important. So here important is render method of virtual DOM can render plain text content, or you can say technically RC data type. You know, we technically call as RC data type. So plain text content or a component, it can render any plain text or a component. Actually, what is component? Separate session, we have to discuss very detailedly about it. As of now, in the beginning, just we will design a simple thing, right? See, now how do we design component? I will show you a simple sample component. Actually, what you should know is component can be a class. Component can be a class or a function. It can be a class or a function that renders layout. Component can be a class or a function that renders layout. Remember, component separate session we will have. There, level by level detail I will show you. Just I am giving you first level example here to make you understand that if you want to present colors, effects, or some layout, you can't design directly. You have to design through a component. Component can be a class or component can be a function. So what is difference between class and function? When to use class, when to use function, this all we are going to learn. As of now, what I will do is simple. So now I want to present some effective screen. So what to do is here, first create a function. I will create a function called login. Okay. Now in this login function, this is a login function. Now in this login function, we will present the screen. We will present a present. How to present a presentation? That means how we can present a simple layout. To present a simple layout, this function should return. It should return a presentation. Presentation is designed in a parenthesis. You have to design the presentation. In a parenthesis, we have to design the presentation. So I will keep a div. Okay, close the div. Now in this div, I am designing here a heading. Say user login and close the heading. I'm just giving a heading user login. Now in this user login, I am writing some data list, general HTML, and here I will write some data term. I'll put a data term. In the data term, I said user name, and below this you need a text box. We need a text box. And how to design a text box? Input type is equal to text. Here so many rules are present. I will tell you, so many rules are there. One by one, while learning the components, I will tell you. As of now, remember, in React virtual DOM, there cannot be void elements. There cannot be void elements. In React virtual DOM, there cannot be void elements. Void elements means you learned in HTML. HTML elements, how many types? 5 types. Normal elements, void elements, RC data type, raw text elements, and foreign. And what are void elements? Void elements don't have an end tag. They don't have an end tag. But in React, every element must end. In React, every element must end because it is not actual DOM. It is a virtual DOM. And virtual DOM cannot recognize void elements. Every element must end. And here, input doesn't need an end tag. Generally, input doesn't need an end tag. But in React, it is not taking. It is not accepting. You can say input has no closing. But we know that it doesn't require closing. But in React, no chance. You have to close. And how to close? 2 ways. You have learned in HTML. You can write an end tag. End tag, how do we write? By using /input like this, or you can write self-ending / like this here. That is more easy. So in React, there is no chance of normal elements. Every void elements, every element must end, compulsory. So lot of other rules we'll learn. As of now, data term, password. Okay, data term here, and data definition. Okay, here we will create input type is equal to password and close. Fine. We will put a button here, and the button will have an end, and here we will put login. So this is a function we design. And what this function is doing, it is returning some layout. Now this layout must be rendered. This function must be rendered. this function must be rendered. So what you have to do is go to this render, remove this here. We are not rendering a message, we are rendering a layout. And very important is now the function login is a component. And how do we access a component and use here? Components are accessed just like a tag. Every component is accessed just like a tag. So what login is a component, and every actually technically component is a function. It can be a class also. Later I will show you class, right? Ordinary message. Now we are rendering a component. How to design a component? Simple. Create a function which returns some layout. Create a function which returns some layout, and just call that function as a component here, and it is going to render that and show. You cannot directly render like this. You have to design a component and you have to render that component. That is how actually React works. Entire React application is built with components. Components is a very, very big concept. Level by level, every topic detailedly we will learn. No worry. As of now, I showed you this just to make you understand that as of now, you can just print only messages. In that message, you can't print bold, you can't print italic, you can't print color, nothing you can do. You can just print a message. If you want any layout, so then you have to create a component and you have to render the component. So here, what is the basic rule for this? So I will give an example here. So first, let me tell the basic rules. Component rule here is, so it can be a function or class. Detailed rules we are going to learn. This is just to change the variant how it display. And second point, so it must return markup. It should return some markup because that is what you are going to present. So syntactically how we do? So we write a function, and function is what? Login. And in this login, what you have to do? Return, and return whatever markup you want. That means here you have to write your markup. Markup is nothing but your presentation, whatever present. Just roughly I am giving this syntax. Whatever you want, you have to design your markup. Here so many rules are there, you are going to learn about them, but this is a simple component. Now how to access the component? You can render any component into virtual DOM. How to render? By using root dot render and the component name. Component name is what? Login. That is how we do. We can display the message, or you can design a component and you can render the component. So this is how generally we configure, create and define everything. So you can try these two things initially. You can create a small function, return some markup and use it. You directly render some message and display. Both are fine. Later we will create complex designs because a lot of things are there to discuss about components. So this is just to make you understand the scenario, right? Now here how you write the components, that your wish, because you learned so many techniques about your function writing, right? So this is actual original way of writing function. We learned shorthand, arrow. I told you that in the modern, everywhere we use arrow techniques. We don't write like a function, right? So I will give this example first. In this example, same home.html, what we done? We created a function And in the function, we designed the markup we want to render, and we are presenting it. We are going to present. That's what we are defining as of now. Okay, right. So is it clear to everyone? Right. You can try rendering a direct message. If you want a formatted message, design that format as a component and render it. Right. So you can try like this now. Suppose I will remove this login, and I will change this presentation like this. I am removing this and I am writing a constant login. Am I right? And is equal to what is it? So it uses an empty parenthesis and implies, and it returns a presentation. That is the presentation we are going to create. This is the shorthand technique, right? That is the shorthand technique. I want that login to be rendered here. That means render should use what? Login. Actually, we can use a start tag, end tag, but we can write a simple self-ending, right? Login start, login end. That means you created your own element now, right? You created your own element and it is working fine. The way of writing, that depends, right? I'll just copy this also. That means just only different ways of writing, right? How you can present your content and display. Later, we will apply CSS and all other options. Bootstrap, CSS, how to implement on this, right? So now you can practice output in two ways, plain output and a component output. So a plain and a component output. This is using React in an existing application. How we can use React in an existing application, and here we are downloading an offline library, all without CDN links, and we are linking to the page and we are creating it, right? This is the technique of creating and using React in a project. Now there is another technique. We can build a separate React application. We can build a separate complete React application, and we can use this React application as very effective front-end app. So instead of using React in any one page, you can build a complete React application. How do we do that? Let's see. That means, so here we are going to learn now, create a new React application. All these examples till now what you learned, it is not a React application. It is not a React application. It is an ordinary web application in that we are using React. You can do anywhere in your HTML projects also, you can do this, right? You designed a HTML project, in that in a page you want to use React, download the library, link the files, and you can create, right? A .NET project or a Java project, it can use anywhere React. But I want to build a separate complete React environment application so that an effective app can be built and we can use this for interacting everywhere. How do we do this? So how do we create a complete React application, right? To create a complete React application, what you need to do here to create a complete React application. So first you have to open any location, on your PC. You have to open any location on your PC. You need to open. So here, okay. So here we have to open any location on the PC. Now, any location on your PC, C drive, D drive, E drive, anywhere you want to create a React project, open any location on your PC, right? Now, any location on your PC with the command prompt, in command prompt, you have to open that in command prompt, right? That means I will open any location on that PC location. Suppose I am selecting here. I am selecting some D drive. This is some D drive or E drive. Some location I am choosing here. So what we will do is in this E drive, I want to create a React project. We need to create a React project. So what we will do here, so open that location in command prompt. You know how to open command prompt, and here change to E drive. Right now here I want to create one application. Here I want to create one application. So you have to run a command npx create react app. That is the command. So it is node package manager, and this is not npm, it is an npx. So it is an extension for node package manager. It is available directly Yeah. So for online people, is it audible? Is it clear? Audio not connect. 1 second, please wait. We will reconnect once. Yes. Okay, let's continue here. So to create a separate React application, so you need to run this command. The command is npx create React app and any app name. I will make sure in that location I don't have any app by that name. So it is shopping React, that's fine. Okay. That is the app name shopping React. And let's hit enter. And now it is going to create a complete React application for you. This application contains all the configurations. Everything will be there. Now, how to create such application by ourselves manually? For that, you have to finish React, right? If you finish React, you know everything in React, then you can learn how to create a end-to-end application like this with all the configuration and settings. But initially, while practicing, first we will create an application by using command, and that application we will use for all our practice. Then later at the end, we can create such application ourselves. Manually, we can do that. So let's download all the library. It will install and create an application for you. It is creating a new React application. You can see it is downloading and installing the React and React DOM and all Babel, everything. Whatever is required for running a React application, it will completely download everything for you. Now, what we have to do is we need to understand the complete architecture of this application. What files and folders are present, how this actually starts, how it works, and we can continue entire design here. So it is aborting. One more time we'll check. Actually, it has some issue in downloading any library. Okay, so it is successfully completing the process. Actually, when you create a React application, by default, it uses JavaScript. But later, after learning TypeScript, I will tell you because while creating application, you can choose TypeScript as language. For that, just you need to add one command extra so that the project is created for TypeScript. By default, every React application is created with language as JavaScript, and it is ready. It is downloaded, installed, everything for you. So now a huge environment is set up. This kind of environment you will able to set up manually at the end. After learning all the concept, I will tell you. Now let's open this project. That means we need to run this. So in this PC location, anywhere, you have to run the command. What is it? Npx create react app, and I given as a shopping react, like this. And once you do this, now open your project folder in Visual Studio Code. So now let's go to Visual Studio Code. We will go to file, open folder. The project folder is in E drive. It is a shopping react. It is shopping react. And open that folder, and you can see in that folder some environment is ready-made set for you, and I hope you are not new to this, right? That is why I showed you the basic tradition. Means from the beginning of when you are learning HTML, so you might be learning this environment, right? Why you have to know this environment? Because this is how real world projects will be. That means every project, now remember, this is the project that is created through commands. You haven't manually done that. So, but I showed you create package JSON. I showed you how to manually add this public SRC folders. And I told you why. The purpose is public contains all static resources. SRC contains all dynamic. Now, this is the basic file system we are having. That is the basic file system. Now, first thing, I don't need to explain you this file system because majority everything you know here. So what is when you open? So the application file system comprises of following files and folders. And you know the architecture here. I will give a simple table form, file or folder, and description. Let's see from the beginning what you have actually. First one, you can see there is node underscore modules. Just now you learned about it. What is node modules? It comprises of all library files. Whatever the library files are required for a project, they are kept in this node modules. Okay, that is the folder you have. Okay, let's see the second, public. What is its purpose? It comprises of static resources. Static resources means like HTML files, images, like text documents and others will be here. And there is another folder. What is it? SRC. In those folders, ready-made files are present. I will show you. We will see that. SRC, what it contains? It comprises of dynamic resources. Dynamic resources like JavaScript, TypeScript, CSS, SCSS, all these are present. And we have another file, .git ignore. Actually, this is known to everybody who worked with GitHub. That means later I will show you how to publish our project on GitHub or any another cloud also. But if you already worked with GitHub, you know that when you are pushing your project onto GitHub, certain folders and files you can ignore, not to include. That is defined in git ignore. That means actually it specifies, it configures, actually it configures the resources uh, which are not intended, which are which are intended not to include into git, which are intended not to include into git. So those are defined by using git ignore. This is not required as of now for you if you don't know any git. Later I will show you how it works. Now there is another file, package.json. You know what it contains? It comprises of metadata, project related metadata. What is that metadata? That metadata contains information about version, dependencies, their versions, everything. There is another file actually, package lock.json. Actually it is used by installer to install the packages locally. That means if anybody copied this project into his computer, you developed a project, you added so many libraries newly, and you copy this project and give it to your friend, and he will try to run that project, it will fail. Why it will fail? Because the library that is needed for this project, so that need to be installed first. And what he can do is he can run a command called npm install. When he runs npm install, it will look into this file, it will look into that file, it will verify what libraries are there in this project, it will connect to their websites and download those libraries. That means if anybody given you a project, you cannot directly run. First you have to install all the library that is available for that project. For that, what actually you have to first do is, if anybody given you a project, what you have to do, don't run the project directly first. First step what you need to do here is, you need to set up like this. That means you need to open your project location. That means your project is here. There you have to run a command npm install. That's it. What this npm install is going to do is, it looks into a file, package what lock, package lock.json. In that file, what libraries are there, from where you can get that library, every information is present. You can see here, suppose you see package json, it contains the information about library. Package json contains information about library. React is 18.2, react dom is 18.2. Now when you go to package lock json, it will contain more detailed information about every package. More detailed information means, you can see it will show you all the detailed information about every package related detail. Why you need so much detail about every package? This is required to get that package from their official resource and install in the project. So package json will tell the configurations, and package lock json will be used for installing the libraries. That is required only when you are installing any another project in your computer, right? Now there is another file, readme. That is a simple one. Actually readme.md, this file is nothing but it is help document. This is help document designed by developers to tell other developers how they can handle this, right? Any suggestions, any commands, references they want to give, they will give all the help documentation is in this readme. It will show everything, right? Now your project is ready. Remember, in public so many files are there. In src so many files are there. These are, you are going to learn, you are going to understand, no worry, right? As of now the project is ready. Now let's start this project and see how it looks like, because already this project is having some environment completely set up. It have some environment completely set up. Generally project starts with which page? Index page. You can observe there is a public folder. In that index.html is there, and you click, interestingly you will find here, so there is a div which is having root. Am I right? This is what we done actually. Okay, now the logic for this file comes from an script file. Index.html related logic comes from index.js file. Let's see where to find the script files. src. In src index.js, you see it is using react dom.create root, and it is using what? It is using get element by id root, and it is doing what? Render. It is rendering a component, just like we created login. It is rendering a component. This all you will understand, you will see that. That means it is internally designed with some interface. Let's start this project and see. After creating the project, you have to just run this and see. That means what you have to do is simple. So open terminal, and there you have to run the command npm start. When you run npm start, usually your project starts on http localhost. So localhost, and it will be usually 3000. So we'll see, because in your computers, if there is any another server running on the port number, then it will create another port number and give it to you, right? So you can choose which port number also. Later I told you that we will discuss from scratch how to build, which server to use, which port number to use, that also we will decide later. Initially just run npm start. When we run npm start, it will first build the application. And you see, what is this npm start? I told you it is a batch program. It is a batch program. That means it is compiling, it is starting your project, and it is showing one development server. It will say that your project started and it is running. You can see automatically it launches on this port number 3000. And you can see directly that index page comes. You can see the React application is like this. This is the default screen that is coming. Now, how this screen is coming, from where it is coming, and how we can customize this, how we can keep our content here, right? That means we want our content here, not its content previous, what it is having. But this is the basic. Your React application is ready and working. Now we need to learn how to create our own screen like this, and how we can put our own content here, right? For that, we will see step by step now. That means we will learn the complete architecture. Every file I will explain. What is the file? Why we need that file? How the project starts, right? The architecture behind this application we will learn, and we will start building application here. That we will see in next session. Tomorrow we will do that. Okay, right? So by tomorrow you try these two things. One is offline, download the library, link the files, and create a simple React screen. And second, you try to create a separate React project and just start it. Then everything is ready. Now how to work with this, how this is working, what is the background architecture behind this, All this I will explain in tomorrow session, right? Tomorrow will continue. Tomorrow we will have a session, and in tomorrow session we will discuss about all this step by step. Okay, tomorrow we'll see. And from today your classroom code, so I will change this classroom code. So you will get yeah, you please switch to this classroom code from today onwards. Previous notes, everything I will upload there, right? From today onwards you copy this one, you join this class. Right, this is the code. So from today, previous everything I will upload here. Currently I just created it, I will upload everything into this location. Okay, the previous and now everything will be here. Now from hereafter until the end of our react, all concept will be here, right? Then we'll continue in tomorrow session, right? Yeah.